Thank
All right, in the UK, lenders have granted around 1.5 million payment holidays on credit cards and personal loans for customers impacted by the COVID-19 outbreak and lockdown. According to fresh figures released by banking lobby group UK Finance, there are also other market-moving news on the wire. And of course, Juliana will speak to us about those. Hello, Juliana. Good afternoon. Well, let's look at the British manufacturing sector. Of course, manufacturers are planning to make tens of thousands of workers redundant after a worse than expected slump in orders prompted by the pandemic that has left many firms struggling to survive. How worrying is this situation for citizens and, of course, the government?
Good afternoon, Chimeze. It's very worrying, particularly for the unemployed or those who are furloughed and are hoping to get their jobs back as soon as people start working full-time here in Britain again. This information has been gathered by the manufacturing body Make UK. They did a survey of about 224 manufacturers, and they found that a quarter of them said that as soon as the government furlough scheme is up, they'll be releasing some staff within 6 months, and this is a major concern. We're still waiting to hear from the Chancellor Rishi Sunak, perhaps later today, about his final announcement with regards to the furlough scheme. The government have made it pretty clear that it cannot go on much longer. It's already cost them £15 billion. It's expected to cost them about £80 billion. And what the concerns are really is that as soon as the government start asking their employers to start topping up their employees' wages, then they'll just say they can't keep them on. We've already seen this in the airline industry. BA, Ryanair, EasyJet have announced mass cuts, and even though they're getting their employers' wages paid already. So it's very concerning, but nothing is set in stone at the moment. But of course, we've got a lot of people with their ears to the ground, and the ears to the ground are saying that there's going to be mass jobs cuts before the end of the year here in Britain.
And in another twist, British Airways is proposing to outsource work being done by at least 450 employees it is making redundant. What details do you have on this?
Well, not much details, but BA are in hot water again, particularly with criticisms and the Labour opposition party. BA are another massive company here in the UK that are relying on the government to pay their wages. Well, it's the government that are paying it, but the taxpayers, it's coming out of taxpayers' money. They've accepted a £300 million loan from the Bank of England, and it's costing the taxpayer about £35 million to keep their staff on this furlough scheme. BA already announced a couple of weeks ago that they will be reducing their staff count by about 12,000. And what's been found out is that 450 jobs within Heathrow have been outsourced to individuals. Now, 450 may seem like a small amount, but people are pretty ticked off that they'll be paying individuals the full amount, whereas they're putting those who should be working in that sector on 80% of their pay. And people are saying it's just not on, that BA have received hundreds of millions of pounds from the government. And the fact that they're being furloughed and they're still saying that these job cuts are going on, it's not good enough. And as well, of course, doing this outsourcing of their staff, which is seen as pretty cheeky. And Labour are asking the government to really crack down on the BA owner, IAG.
All right, let's turn to the markets. Bring us up to speed with intraday numbers and, of course, some expectations for next week.
Well, it was a good start for a short week for the FTSE, but it seems like we'll be heading into the weekend in the red. The all-share at intraday is down 0.98%. The FTSE 100 also down by 0.97%. And the FTSE 250 is down by more than 1%. In currencies, the pound also down on the dollar by 0.02%, down on the euro by 0.47%, and down on the Japanese yen by 0.38%. Here in Britain, I think everybody, including myself, Chimmy, is looking forward to the lockdown measures being eased from Monday. So from Monday, people will be allowed to gather in larger groups of people outside of their households by up to 6. We're also going to see the start of showrooms opening and garden centres. So the economy is going to get a further kick, especially because we had some really abysmal car sale numbers over the past couple of months. Let's see if people are going to be rushing into car showrooms trying to get a hold of a brand new car. I don't suspect so, but the government will be hoping so because they need the economy to start kicking again. So next week there'll be more people buzzing around in London and around the rest of the country.
Well, we'll have to see how that goes. And of course, perhaps people will have a lot of money in their pockets to actually go to the the showrooms there. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, Juliana.